Hi there, Chris here with another fresh tip for you all. In this video, we're going to continue our look at painting gemstones. And in this video, we are going to take a look at using contrast paints to achieve our desired results. And in this video, we're going to paint a yellow gemstone. To get things started, we've already base coated the gemstone area in Abaddon Black, and now we're going to go over with Wraithbone. This is the newer base color. It sits on top of black very nicely. You can see here we're basically just applying this right on top of the black and allowing a bit of that black to remain as a outline for the gemstone, and it just gives it a nice little black lining effect. Here I'm basically laying in another layer of Wraithbone on top just to get a nice smooth even coverage. Untitled Yellow is next. This is the contrast color. This is for yellow. And with this, you can see I've got a fairly generous amount in the bristles, and I'm just illustrating here the direction in which I'm going to draw the brush strokes and where I want to build the color up deepest. Now, where you finish off your brush stroke, that is where a larger amount of the paint will gather, and so that's where we want the deeper color to remain. So basically, you can see here I'm applying a second coat, a little bit heavier, and you can see that there's a lot more of that orangey tone in there. Here I'm just quickly using a damp brush to wipe the excess away in the lower left-hand side of the gem, create the brighter spot. Argyros Dunes is next, and with this we are going to deepen up the tone of the gemstone, going a bit more for an amber kind of look, just a bit more of that brown yellow. So many people enjoy the brown yellow as opposed to the orange yellow, so we're going to go with a nice brown yellow. And Argyros Dune is the color we're going to use here because, again, it goes to a nice deep brown tone, but it has nice yellow tones as well. And you can see here I'm just using the color to build up right where I want the shadowy point to remain. And so with this, it's really quickly you can achieve this. I'm just coming back in with a bit of Wraithbone and just creating that little spot down on the lower left side of the gemstone. In the previous examples, I talked about direction of where you're building up these colors. You're not going through the centers. You're kind of going like in the the highlights are in the 7 or 5 o'clock, depending on where the center of the light source is. Here I'm coming in with Untitled Yellow with a bit of contrast medium, thinning it out roughly a 1-to-1, and then applying it over the entirety of the stone. And this is just to bring all those little layers together, and also throwing a bit more of that yellow on top of that brown, just so it doesn't feel too brown. I realize it's kind of, subjective and what have you, but we're just going to apply that and allow that to sit and remain. And then once that is dry, we're going to come in with White Scar for our 2 little spot highlights up into the dark areas. Again, this is kind of like in the 1 o'clock position if we're looking at the gemstone, kind of like the face of a clock. And I like going for that 2-dot method for the gemstone for those little spot highlights. And there you have it. Now we could always finish it off with some gloss if need be, but otherwise that is it. That is painting a yellow gemstone using contrast paints. Huge thank you to all my patrons for their support. Without their support, these videos would not be possible. If you're considering Patreon support, I have varying tiers of support that you can support at. And a huge thank you, and take care of those brushes, and they'll take care of you.